let's talk about Islam and how it's half-brained, okay? Now I want you to really think about this. Think about how Muhammad claims this is the same God of Abraham, right? And keep that in mind, because that's exactly why it is half-brained. First off, let's talk about Muhammad's experience in the cave, alright? Anybody who would just use their head should be able to understand how that is not right, is not of God. No prophet ever was so afraid and thought that they were possessed after seeing an angel, okay? That never ever happened, but it did to Muhammad. Muhammad was grabbed up in the cave and squeezed several times, and afterwards he ran and hid and covered himself up and wanted to kill himself and thought he was being possessed. And he was right. He was right. Alright, on that, he was actually on the money. It's just the people around him talked him into believing something else. Next, how could anyone believe that a man of God would marry a 6-year-old? That is nonsensical. And even worse, take a 9-year-old to his bed. I mean, come on, just use your head. That is not of God. A prophet of God is going to act accordingly, because we are representatives of God in this world. We reflect His morality, His love. That does not reflect God, that reflects the opposite. Alright, and then just look at Islam's description of heaven. This should tell you everything you need to know. Alright? What is Islam's description of heaven? It is being given a bunch of women with swollen breasts who are eternal virgins that you get to deflower over and over and over. And once you deflower them, their virginity just regenerates. Alright, think about this, okay? This is supposed to be the same God of Abraham, who said, you know, adultery is a sin, fornication is a sin, don't commit sexual immorality. But yet, they really believe that that God's heaven is nothing but sexual immorality. Come on, use your brain. That is what Muhammad used to entice people to get them to go after the lusts of their flesh to follow Islam. Because in the afterlife, you're going to be able to have all these women to deflower. That's the lust of the flesh. That is not godly. And if anyone would just, a 5-year-old could come to that conclusion. I don't understand how anyone could follow this nonsense religion. Next, you could look at all of the horrible deeds that Muhammad did, you know, killing people, spreading Islam by the sword. That's not godly. That's not how God operates. And how Muslims can defend this trash, I just, I cannot comprehend it. It's just like they're so desperate that God chose one of them. They chose their people. That's all. It's what it seems to all be about. They want to be special and chosen by God. But it's just not the case. They were chosen by the devil, and they're all deceived. And if they would just use their brains a little bit, instead of going on blind faith and blind obedience, they could see the truth. Read the previous scriptures. See, does it sound like the same God? No, it's not the same God. All of the prophets teach God is a father. All of them. Not one prophet ever contradicts that until Muhammad comes along. Not the same God. Muhammad was bewitched by the devil. Even, I think, says that in the Hadith or the Quran, one of the two, about him being bewitched. How could a prophet be bewitched by the devil? Use common sense. Another thing they just don't think about. Their book explicitly promises them that they're all going to go to hell. And they still follow it. Talk about half-brained. The devil's basically killing you. And you still follow. He's telling you the truth. He got you, you're going to hell, you're guaranteed hell. And you still follow and choose to believe the nonsense. Let's talk about the biggest sin of Islam. Besides, you know, the whole marrying children. It undoes everything that Jesus did in his life. Which, if they had read the previous scripture, they would know. Previous scripture warned anybody who tries to say Jesus didn't do this, didn't die, didn't give his life for the sins of the world, is of the devil. And the Bible actually specifically warns against Islam in basically a couple different places. The first place the Bible warns is, it says, if anybody comes preaching a message other than what you've already received, which is, you know, the Torah and the Gospel, the prophets, all that, the Bible basically, the whole Bible. If anybody gives you anything other than that's against that, don't believe it. It's a lie. Let them be accursed. Even if an angel comes down from heaven and tells you something other than that, it's a liar. Let it be accursed. Alright, the next place that you're warned is Jesus himself. He actually tells the disciples after I believe after he was resurrected, he tells them that a people is going to rise up and seek to take their lives. And by taking their lives, they're going to think they're serving God. So he specifically warns there against Islam, because that is exactly what Islam teaches. They're taught fight the Christians and the Jews wherever they are. That's another thing. I don't understand how they could ever think it could be of God. You know, God doesn't teach violence like that. Nowhere in our scriptures are we told to kill unbelievers. We're told to teach them and show them the love of God. The love of God isn't murder. It's patience, long-suffering, charity, compassion. Islam has no compassion. That's why it's of the devil. And most Muslims aren't bad people. Most of them don't even know what their book actually teaches. That's what's really sad. That they're deceived and they don't even know it, because they haven't taken the time to actually look at everything that their religion is telling them. I think most of them are really good people, but being a good person isn't going to get you to heaven. That's the whole problem. You have to accept Jesus and his sacrifice. There's no other way. And then you got, you know, you got Muhammad telling Muslims that they can go invade a land, take the women captive, and even if they're married, they can have sex with them. Okay, this directly goes against the God of Abraham. About fornication and adultery and sexual immorality. Directly contradicts the commandments. God doesn't change. He's always the same. So that should tell you it's not the God of Abraham. Just use your brain a little bit. Don't throw yourself willingly into hell. God gave you all a brain. Use it. And if anybody wants to join and actually have a conversation, you know, that's fine. I'm more than willing for that. Know that you'll never convince me of a lie. I'm already been set free by the truth. I have actually heard the voice of God, so and yes. What's crazy is I used to believe very similarly to the Muslims. That's what's really crazy. I was afraid to accept Christ as anything more than a man. So I was afraid of offending God. My eyes were open and I saw the truth for myself. One just has to have an open mind and an open heart. Probably one of the big reasons why I want to talk about all of this is because I believe so similarly to them. I think it's the same spirit, which is the Antichrist spirit. Not the person, not the Antichrist person, but the spirit behind it. Well, I guess I'm gonna switch over to just streaming Bloodborne since nobody's ever gonna come up. I don't have no following or nothing like that, so Here's a little buddy. I need to go walk my dog and stuff real fast as well. We got our next couple chalices. Alright, I'm gonna walk my dog, give him his insulin shot, and I'll be back on. Talk normal game stuff.